London Summer 2025. Amid the bustle of the Outlander finale press conference, Sam Heughan appeared calm, elegant, and quieter than ever. It had been almost a decade since he and Caitriona Balfe first transformed into Jamie Fraser and Claire Randall. They were not only the two main characters in a television series, but also the symbol of a beautiful love, making millions of viewers around the world believe, hope, and imagine. But behind all the glory, there were things that were never said. In a rare moment in an exclusive interview with The Guardian, Sam unexpectedly mentioned what he called the spoken tension between him and Caitriona, a phrase that stunned the fan community. "We've always had a special bond, but because we're so close, it's sometimes hard to tell the truth," he shares, his eyes looking into the distance. Sam talks about moments when the two were so close that it was hard to know where the boundaries between two colleagues should be. That stunned the interviewer, because for years both Sam and Caitriona have avoided mentioning any rift. In the press, they've always been close friends, trusted teammates, a perfect couple on screen. But behind the scenes, the pressure of work, the expectations of fans, and the scrutiny of the media have gradually eroded the peace between them. There were no arguments, no public rifts, just a vague distance deepening like a silent crack. A crew member once said, "There were times when I saw them exchanging looks that were no longer Jamie and Claire. They were two real people struggling with themselves, between what to keep and what to let go." Sam, the man who always knew how to make people feel comfortable, sometimes chose to avoid sensitive questions. Caitriona, the discreet and principled woman, always kept silent in the face of all rumours. But then, the emotions that had been suppressed for too long also needed to be released. And Sam chose to speak out. "I felt lost in this relationship. We knew each other so well that I didn't know what my feelings for her were anymore. Was it friendship, love, or something else that couldn't be named?" He told of a night after filming an emotional scene in Season 7, the two of them sitting in the dressing room, so quiet that you could hear the ticking of the clock. "I just wanted to say something, anything, but I couldn't, and she didn't. For the first time, I felt an unnameable distance between us." A week after the press conference, Edinburgh. The wind blew gently over the grey-green hills outside the city. Sam Heughan sat alone on the porch, a steaming cup of tea in his hand, watching the road that led to the old woods behind him. And then the familiar car stopped. Caitriona got out, no sunglasses, no jacket to hide behind, just a tired but determined woman. No one smiled. She approached, standing in front of him. "We need to talk." "I know," Sam said softly, standing and opening the door for her. They sat in the living room. No assistant, no manager, no script, just Sam and Caitriona. No longer Jamie and Claire, no lights, no cameras. A minute passed in silence, then Caitriona spoke. "You really want to go public with this?" "I'm not mad. I just thought you should tell me first. I'm sorry, I'm really sorry. I feel like I'm suffocating. Not because of you, but because I don't know where this relationship is going." "And so you chose to tell the media first?" "No, the best thing to do would have been to tell you. But I was too scared." She fell silent. Her eyes weren't teary, but they were clouded by the things she'd kept hidden for so long. And now they had a chance to come out. "We're so close, Sam. So much so that the lines are blurred. Sometimes I don't know if that hug was friendship or something else." Sam nodded. "To be honest, I don't know either. Sometimes I think I love you, but sometimes I'm afraid it's just an emotional dependency." "So, do you love me?" Caitriona asked, not avoiding it. The question cut through the air like a knife. Sam squeezed her hand, then let it go. "I'm not sure I'm worthy of loving you anymore." Caitriona laughed, a sad laugh. "We share everything on screen, but in real life we hide the most important things." The conversation lasted more than 3 hours. They looked back at the moments they shared, hugs in the snow in the first season, kisses that silenced the studio, and eye contact when no one was looking. Sam admitted that she had considered confessing after Outlander ended, but was afraid that if she was rejected, everything would fall apart. Caitriona said that she had loved him since the early seasons, but had never had the courage to cross the line. The more they held back, the further apart they became. The more they tried to act in real life, the more they lost themselves. Sam took her hand. "I'm tired, Kate. Tired of living every day in doubt. What are we going to do?" she asked softly. He looked at her determined. "Let's give it a try. Be real with this feeling. Not for the fans, not for the movie, just for us." A glimmer of light in the darkness. Caitriona didn't answer right away, but her eyes softened. She squeezed his hand gently as a sign of acceptance, even though there was still much uncertainty ahead. The next day, Sam posted a photo on Instagram. No faces, no caption, just two hands clasped together under the deep blue Scottish sky. No explanation, no hashtag. But the whole internet knew it was the beginning of a new chapter. Caitriona didn't reshare that photo, but in a short interview afterwards she simply said, "We finally chose to be honest, and it turned out it was easier than we thought. So are they officially in love?" No one confirmed it, and no one needs an answer anymore. Between Sam and Caitriona, everything has gone beyond the limits of definition. They don't need to say we love each other to prove anything. Instead, they choose to be present, honest and vulnerable. A member of the film crew shared, "There is no more tension between them now. There is no more awkward silence. They talk more, laugh more, and their eyes are warmer than before. A love without words, but deep. They used to be so close that they lost comfort, but after that conversation they learned how to regulate their heartbeat, not to let it beat too fast nor to let it stay silent for too long." And the story between Sam Heughan and Caitriona Balfe probably won't end with a grand confession or a brilliant wedding. But the moment they sat across from each other, bravely saying everything they had hidden, was the most beautiful ending and also the most beautiful beginning. One late summer afternoon, after a drizzle had just ended, Sam and Caitriona walked together on the cobblestone path outside their small house on the outskirts of Edinburgh. There were no paparazzi, no cheering fans, just the rustling of the old trees and the slow footsteps of two people who had spent their youth together on screen. Sam turned to look at her Caitriona's hair blowing lightly in the wind. "If there's one thing I regret," he said softly, "it's letting fear steal so many years of silence between us." Caitriona just smiled, took his hand, not needing to respond, because at that moment all words were superfluous. They didn't need to define what this relationship was, didn't need to call it love, friendship, or anything else. They only know that from now on, both have chosen to live true to their hearts. Whether together or on two parallel paths, they will not let silence hurt them again. In a subsequent appearance at a film event in Europe, people saw Sam and Caitriona standing next to each other, not holding hands, not putting their arms around each other, but the look they exchanged was enough to make the whole audience stop breathing. Not because of the scandal, not because of fame, but because two real people are living with real emotions. And perhaps the story between them will never need a clear ending. Because the most beautiful relationship is not a happy ending, but the maturity and courage to face each other, whether in the spotlight or in the quietest moments. If you ask if they are in love, then perhaps love does not always need to be said. Just being present, just listening and daring to speak the truth is enough for a bond that won't easily fade away over time.